Hello YouTube, it is the Dream Team Extreme and today is May 5th. I am going to do a quick how-to video on making cookies in a jar. And this is the finished product, I think. I'm going to change like the ribbon and maybe tie it up here and put either a bow on top or a sticker or something. But these are the favors for Kaleigh's birthday party. And this is going to have to be a two-part video because right now I'm just going to make the jar and then I'm going to do the ribbon and the tags later. So I'm just going to do actually like the filling and the recipe of the jar right now. So the first thing you're going to need is your jars, and this is a 12-pack that I got for $7.88, and it comes with the lids. And the jar, which I really like, doesn't have any of the cur or the ball or anything written or embossed on them. They're very clean. So that's what you're going to start with. You also need flour, baking powder, baking soda, just your whole grain oats, M&Ms, we're just using the standard colors, chocolate chips, which I put into a bowl because they're easier to get out of this way. Same with the brown sugar, but I have extra brown sugar back there. Brown sugar is a pain in the butt to do. And then you just need normal white sugar. So those are your ingredients. And then you also need like your measuring cups and your spoons. And then you need something to flatten the stuff with. And so I've been using this ladle, and it's been working really well. And then you just need a plain piece of paper or piece of paper that you don't need. To make a funnel if you need it. So yeah, I mean, just a normal piece of paper will do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is I put the funnel inside the paper, or I mean inside the jar, and you want to lower the funnel to the bottom as much as you can, because if you don't and you keep it up here, the flour gets all over and then it makes the jar dirty. Because it gets all over the inside of the jar, so then you have to reach your hand in and clean it. I found that out the first time. So the first thing that it calls for is 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, measured. So we're gonna go ahead, and here is my cup, like so. And I am going to take my flour here, and I'm actually gonna grab a knife because that's how I usually level things out. So I'm just gonna dip my cup into the flour and level it out with a knife. So there's my 1 cup that I've leveled out with the flour, and then I'm going to slowly pour it into my jar here, which is going to be interesting. The flour is always the messiest part. It's such a pain. And what I did yesterday actually was so this is what I'm doing. Making a mess. There. Okay, so I got most of it in. And then I'm just gonna, so there. So there's the 1 cup. As you can see, I spilled some of it because I'm that talented. And then I need the 1/3 cup to do the same thing. So here's my 1/3 cup leveled out. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my funnel low because, as you can see, the jar is still pretty clean. I'm gonna pour it in with my funnel, and then I'm going to slowly lift and let it come out that way. So then I'm going to take my trusty little ladle, or a spoon probably works just as well, and I'm just gonna smooth it out. And I hope you guys can see this because I basically have the camera set on the counter since my husband's at work and my kiddo's in her bouncer right now watching Sesame Street. Yeah, I'm just going to press it down a little bit because it'll eventually get pressed down more, like the more you pack on top of it, the more you press that down. So we are all done with the flour part, and since this is bugging me, I'm going to clean this off right now. The second part that the recipe calls for is the baking powder, and the baking powder is 1 teaspoon. And I actually, my teaspoon is dirty, so I'm going to use 2 half teaspoons. So here's my half teaspoon, here's my baking powder, and I am simply going to, can you guys see that? Simply going to take it and use the edge, the top edge, to level it. And I'm going to pour it into my jar. So I have to do that twice because, again, this is a half teaspoon. I'm doing it again. So there's my teaspoon of baking powder. Next, it calls for baking soda, and the baking soda, it is calling for the same thing, a teaspoon. So here's my trusty little baking soda, and I do the same thing with the baking soda. Let's see if I can turn this here a little bit. I take it, and I use the top part here to level it, so just run it up on the top. So I have to do 2 of these because this is half a teaspoon, so I'm just putting it into the jar once I'm done. Okay, so there is the jar. I'll take my little ladle again and kind of level it out a little bit here. Alright, so there's all of those ingredients. The fourth thing that it calls for is the oats. And the oats, it calls for, I think, 1 cup. Yeah. 1 cup of oats. So I've got my big thing of oats here. My 1 cup. I'm just going to fill my cup with oats. Okay, and voila, there's my cup of oats. And I'm going to use my funnel again and very carefully Kazoo-tight, Kaleigh. I've dropped a few because I'm totally like watching the camera, not what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, so there's all my oats. And again, I'm going to take my ladle. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me, that noise. And see how I'm pressing down? Starting to kind of... So there's the oats. And then it calls for M&Ms, and it calls for 3/4 of a cup of M&Ms. So I'm going to go ahead and, here's my 1/4 cup. I'm going to do this 3 times. So here's 1. Here's 2. There's 3. So I'm going to move them, and again, take my trusty little ladle and kind of just even it out. So there are the M&Ms. I have to do the same thing for chocolate chips, 3/4 of a cup for chocolate chips. So I have to do this 3 times. So here's 1. 2. 3. Oops, dropped 1. Again, I'm going to take my ladle because I still have to get 2 more ingredients in here. Even it out a little. And now it's time for the brown sugar, and the brown sugar is packed. So So it's half a cup of brown sugar, so you want to make sure to take your half cup here and pack the brown sugar, and I'll do this in front of the camera too. So here's your brown sugar in a bowl. I don't know if you guys can see that. And you really want to take it, and I just take a smaller cup. This is my quarter cup. First of all, you want to break it up because this is kind of bunched together here. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that there's like too much in here. And then you just take this, excuse me, and you just want to pack it in there really tight. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't see because there's a reflection off my camera. See, again, there's that obnoxious. Okay, so I have packed half a cup in there. See how it's packed in there? Okay, so then I'm going to put this back. I'm going to take my funnel again. Otherwise it's going to end up in a big lump all over your floor. I'm going to dump it in here. And this is a pain in the butt to get, oops. Because it wants to stay in one lump, so you kind of have to crush. I'm crushing it up inside the funnel. And I'm letting it go. And this is like the longest part is the brown sugar. Alright, so the brown sugar is finally out, and as you can see, it's way full, and I still have to get the white sugar in. So you, again, have to take your handy-dandy, where did that go, the ladle. You really have to squish it down. I'm afraid I'm going to drop this, because I'm not. But the ladle, like, works perfectly for this, because it's got that. Alright, so there, it's packed in there. We have one more ingredient to go, which is our white sugar. So the white sugar calls for half cup. So here is my half cup. I'm going to fill it with white sugar. And I'm going to, again, funnel. My funnel's like totally beat up at this point. Hold on, I have to refold my funnel because it's not a happy camper. Okay. And I am going to, so here is the funnel. I'm just going to pour my sugar in there. So here you go. Ready? You guys see that? Moving it slowly to try and disperse it, because it should fit perfectly, and it does. So there's the top, fits perfectly. So there's my cookies in a jar. It's done. And this costs not even $5 to make, because you have to buy all the ingredients in bulk anyway. You know, you can't just go buy a cup of flour or a cup of sugar or anything. So I just put the lid on, and then you can tie a bow, or you can put a piece of fabric and then tie a bow. And I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna put I'm gonna buy stickers and put the recipe on sticker, or whether or not I'm just gonna punch a hole and put a tag, like hang a tag. I think I'm gonna do that because if people want to reuse these jars, I don't want to be like that person that put an obnoxious sticker on and they have to get it off. So yeah, so there's my cookies in a jar, and this is the favors for the adults at Kaleigh's party. So I have to make, I'm making like one per household, so I have to make 30 something of these, so I have 2 down. And I'm going to do a vlog later on more of Kaleigh's birthday stuff. I've been kind of slacking because I've been waiting for a lot of it to come in because I had to order a lot of it online. And I will do an updated vlog on the recipe. I'll put the recipe below, but I'll also do an updated vlog on what I ended up doing with the ribbon and how I attached the recipe onto the cookies in a jar. So, there you have it. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.